everyone, welcome back to Life Odysseys. I'm Bobby, that's Maggie, and we're out taking a stroll of the property, fixing to do another video. Today's video is going to be on the 1994 Arca season, where we came back from a dismal 93 season to win another championship. And we posted 3 wins during that season, many top 5s and many top 10s. Won every single heat race that we was in on the short tracks. So yes, incredible year for us. So I'm fixing to find me a chair somewhere in a nice spot, and I'll be back with you as soon as we can. So stay right there, because it's going to get squirrely. Ready, Maggie? Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're getting into the 1994 Arca season. That's probably the best season of my racing career. Coming off the 1993 season, which was a mediocre year. We ended up 3rd in points. Wasn't happy with that. So we come back in 1994 with a head of steam. So today I'm going to talk about the season, race by race, give a short, brief detail on each race. Some races will get more details, but that's what we're going to get into today. So sit back and enjoy. And as always, thanks for watching. Well, as usual, I'm going to have my notes sitting here beside me because it's just too much for me. I can't remember it all. So you just have to bear with me. I hope you enjoy it. Well, it started out in 1994. We did go to Daytona and test in January. We was there for 2 days. The test went well. We ran some pretty good laps, and we was pretty happy with the car. Went home, tinkered on it a little bit, finished the car up as far as details and looks, appearance, and we headed back to Daytona in February. Where it says here that we started 11th and ended up 8th. A pretty good day for us at Daytona. Wasn't too exciting, but we managed to finish the race and end up with a top 10. So getting off of on the right foot at Daytona is very important for the season. You don't want to go have a tore up car and you're behind the 8 ball right from the start. So you really need to have a good finish to start with. And that's what happened. So then we go to Talladega. Started 18th and run 2nd. This was the race, again, very competitive at Talladega. We've had really good runs at Talladega. And come down to the end, we was running 2nd after we got the white flag lap, and you know, I had a decision to make. You know, I had been trying Purvis previously on getting by him, and we just didn't have quite enough steam to get by him. So going down the backstretch, I had a decision to make. I was either going to attempt to pass him, which I made an attempt, but it wasn't a full attempt. Decided we better stick with what we got and come home with a 2nd place finish, as opposed to trying to pass him and get passed by 3 or 4 cars or 5 and have a worse finish. So, you know, just not quite having enough to get by him, we decided just to stick with finishing with a 2nd place finish. Now, a lot of you might disagree with that, but that's fine. But at the end of the day, we had to look at a lot of things. Number 1, money. Number 2, not tearing up a race car and coming away with the best finish we possibly can, so we can go to the next one or go to the next super speedway and run. And that's how we did it. Yeah, sometimes that would hinder you on maybe the what ifs and all that, but you know, at that particular second and decision was the best thing to do. Then we go to Pensacola, which was the next week. So when we went to Talladega, we had 2 speedway cars and 2 short track cars with us. And we didn't go home after Talladega. We went straight from Talladega to Pensacola. So you got to figure, getting all that stuff ready before we left for Talladega was a pretty big job. And every one of those cars was ready to go on the racetrack at any given time. So we didn't have to fool around very much. If we needed to run a spare car, we was ready to go. So it says here, we qualified second and finished second. Excellent day for us at Pensacola. Our previous runs at Pensacola wasn't too good, but today in particular, we had a good day. Coming home second was still another good solid finish to get the year going. Then we go to Louisville. It's the first time at that track. They reconfigured it. It was a little tiny small track, and they reconfigured it. And I went down there like the week before and scoped out the track, looked it over, got a feel for what I was looking at, as opposed to just all of a sudden showing up not knowing what to expect. So we go there, set on the pole, and we win the race. There again, I had to beat like your local favorite, Frank Kimmel. He was strong, but we had an excellent day at Louisville. It actually ended up being a good track for us. If my memory serves correct, I think we ran there 3 times and I won twice. So then we go to Killcare. It says here we qualified on the pole and finished second. There again, that's another good finish on a short track. We're starting to build momentum. Things are going right, and we just hope to keep carrying that on. Then we go to Toledo. It says we qualified on the pole and finished 6th. That was a race. I'm pretty sure Frank Kimmel got his first career victory in Arca. We come in and made a pit stop, and we come around to go back on the racetrack, and they claimed that they had the stop sign out for me to stop, and there was no stop sign. That's all I can say. I mean, after all these years, there's no sense of me lying about it. There was no stop sign. So they said I ran the stop sign and made us come back in. And that was one of the reasons why we ended up 6th, because we was running better than that. But still, it was a good finish. Then we go to Flat Rock, and it says here we qualified 5th and finished 3rd. Another top 5. So I don't know. On the short tracks, they ran heat races. And during the 94 season, every heat race we ran, we won every single one. So back then, they paid 25 points for winning a heat race back to, and down like 20, 25, or 25, 20, 15, and so on. And the same with qualifying. If they did qualifying the same way, you get 25 points for on the pole, 20, 15, and so on. But that particular year, 1994, we won every single heat race that we was in, which when you start adding the points up, that's a lot. Then we go to Michigan. This is where I got my first career super speedway pole, and we broke the current track record at the time. I remember going out, they had put some kind of something on the racetrack, and during practice, we come in and talked it over with Gary, and we changed the spring, front spring in the car, and that really helped it. And qualifying, I remember like going through the corners, little pebbles banging off the bottom of the race car. That stuff, whatever they put on it, was coming loose. And but I kept my foot in it and kept on going. But we ended up with the pole. And it says here that we ended up 22nd. So that gets back to another one of those engine deals. something was not done correctly in the valve train. So ended up pulling the studs out of the head for the rocker arms. And it wasn't done correctly. It wasn't right. And there again, Dad wasn't happy about it, and I certainly wasn't happy about it. Because it says here we led the first 12 laps, and I'm telling you, that was the easiest I ever driven in my life, was leading those 12 laps. So we was on the gas. The car was as perfect as you can get it, and we was pulling away from the second place finisher. He was, and that was purpose, and he was having a hard time keeping up with us. So, you know, whenever time you outrun somebody like that at that particular time of the race, you're doing something. So then we go to a street course in Des Moines, Iowa. This was a fun deal, but it was through the streets of Des Moines, Iowa. Went over the river there and back across by City Hall, and it was a unique place to run. We only ran there once, and that was, it says here we qualified on the pole and finished 4th. So another top 5, another good day for us. The only bad thing about the day was my brother, Jack Jr., and we call him Bones, broke his foot during a pit stop. He slipped in some racing fuel that spilled on the asphalt and slipped in that and broke his foot. Broke it bad. He was hobbled up for a while. So then we go to Pocono. They ran 2 Pocono races there close, a few days apart, because we rained out when we first went there earlier in the season. Rained out, and then they rescheduled it for the next time we go, but like a couple days before that. This was 2 races back to back at Pocono that we had really good runs at. And the first one we qualified 5th and finished 5th. So for Pocono, that was an extremely good day for us and another top 5 finish. The second race, it says we qualified 4th and ended up 5th again. Another solid run. It was just a good day for us. And plus, we led 14 laps. So we was pretty competitive at Pocono this trip, and very, very pleased. It's just too bad, a lot of them other races wasn't the same way. But yeah, good 2-race deal there at Pocono. Then we go to Killcare. Qualified 3rd and ended up winning the race. Another good night for us on a short track. Killcare, like I mentioned before, is right up the road from where our race shop was in Springfield. Killcare is located in Xenia, so about a half-hour away. Then we go to Flat Rock. Qualified 5th and finished 3rd. Yet another top 5 finish. Extremely important, plus getting back to winning the heat races. Then we go to Indianapolis, which was at the fairgrounds on the 1 mile dirt. This was another competitive race. We qualified 2nd, and we took the lead right off the get-go. And I remember before the race started, because my dad, he had run there before and won a USAC race there. He said, I'll tell you something. You got to be careful, because it was a night race to boot. And the lights wasn't that great. But anyways, he told me, he said, let me tell you something. When you come off a 2 over there, it's kind of dark and there's a shadow. And if you ain't careful, you'll run out of racetrack. So just keep that in mind. So I guess I didn't keep it in mind good enough. So after we took off in the initial start, we took the lead, was leading. Can you believe that I come through 2, and damned if I didn't hit that damn wall? Well, when I knew it was going to happen, I tried to square it up as good as I could to where I'd hit the whole side as opposed to more on the front or more on the rear. So we come through that okay. It bent the wheel, believe it or not, the right front wheel, but we was fine. So we just kept right on trucking, and ran up front the whole race. Ken Schrader ended up winning. We was running second with like, I don't know, 10 to go. And it kind of reminded me of the race at Springfield when I caught Ben Hess. We was catching Schrader towards the end. Well, I take that back. I think we was running third, and Keselowski was running with Schrader, and we was catching them both. Actually, we caught them, and with like 5 to go or something like that, we was coming through two. Somebody had spun right in front of Schrader. He went one way, Keselowski went the other, and Keselowski lost control. And I went to the outside and creamed the outside wall with the right front. So we're hurt, but we had 5 to go. So I kept going. They restarted the race with like 1 or 2 to go. We managed to finish the race, and coming through 3 and 4 after we got to checkered, whatever damage I did, it caught some oil or something caught on fire. So we was on fire. I take that back. That was the coming around for the checkered flag, and caught on fire. Coming down the front stretch, they seen what was happening. The crew did. They grabbed all the fire extinguishers, and Gary made sure and told me, he says, whatever you do, don't stop. Drive right past the start-finish line, because otherwise you wouldn't get scored for it. So that's what I did. Drive right on past start-finish line, I don't know, 20 feet or so, and stopped. And they was all there and put the fire out. But can you believe we started second and we finished third in that race? Hard to believe. But another top 5 finish. Then we go to I-70. I-70 gave me a little bit of trouble. I had trouble qualifying. I hit the fence up in 1 and 2. We got that squared away. It didn't mess it up too bad. But we qualified 6th, ended up 4th, which turned out to be another good finish, another top 5. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm running, I'm telling you, a lot of top 5s here. So then we go to Springfield, Illinois, the mile dirt at the fairgrounds. It says we qualified 2nd and ended up 2nd. Another good run for us on the dirt. We finished 3rd at Indy, 2nd at Springfield, and another top 5 finish. Then we go to DuQuoin. A little drama in this race. We qualified 4th and ended up 2nd. Glenn Brewer was leading this race late, and we'd caught him, trying to get around him, having a little trouble getting around him. We were getting right down towards the end, probably 5 to go, something like that. So we go down, barreling down into turn 1, and he got up just a slight bit, and I stuck my nose in there, and we made contact, and around he went and hit the inside wall real hard and tore his car all up. And he spun around and hit me in the left rear, which gave me a flat left rear tire. So we ended up coming in, changing the tire, but it was too late. Couldn't catch up with the leader, and Dean Roper ended up winning. But Glenn was, man, he was pissed at me, and he's got every right to be pissed. But it was entirely wasn't intentional. It was an accident. It just happened. I don't know what else to say about that. I told him that then, and if he watches this video, I'm telling him again. It wasn't on. It was just an accident. I didn't mean to do it. After all these years, why would I care? But that's the way it is. I just didn't mean to do it. And Glenn was trying to win the race for the first time. So I really get that he was upset. I mean, I really do. We talked the next week at Salem, and he was still mad, and I get it. But that's really all I can really say about it. Didn't mean to do it, and it just happened. It cost us the race too. I mean, we didn't win the race. Anyways, we qualified 4th and ended up 2nd. Another top 5 finish for us. I mean, and it was a good day. So then we go to Toledo. There again, Toledo, one of my favorite racetracks. So this year we qualified 4th and we ended up winning the race. Another good night for us at Toledo. A lot of good competition, like I've said before. just an outstanding night. I mean, what can I say? Toledo was one of our good tracks. So then we go to Salem. It says here we qualified 5th and ended up 13th. I don't really remember. I think we had some kind of an engine issue. I don't remember exactly what. Mediocre race at Salem, but it was, you know, we ended up finishing the race. That's a good thing. Then we go to Winchester. So I don't remember exactly. We was leading the points by so much by the time I got to Winchester. I think all we had to do was start at Winchester, and we clinched the championship for 1994. So we qualified 4th and ended up 5th. So another top 5 finish. So it was a good day for us at Winchester. We clinched the championship, and that was our main goal. Then we go to the dreaded Atlanta, the last race of the year. It says here we qualified 41st. I have no idea. Don't even remember what happened there, and finished 23rd. We ended up getting in a wreck. I don't know, somewhere around lap 100. I don't remember which. We had an in-car camera. There was one on the roof and one in-car. Caution come out. We stayed out, inherited the lead, but we just wasn't quite fast enough to lead the race. And a lap car, a slower car, had restarted in front of us, and like a couple laps after we got to green, was going down the backstretch, going into turn 3. It was almost like he was stopping. Well, I wasn't quite ready for it. Hit him right in the rear, turned him in front of me, or turned him down the racetrack. I thought I had the deal cleared, and then he hit another car and turned him up into me, and we all hit the outside fence pretty hard. But the car tore the car up really bad. Screwed my neck up. They sent me by ambulance to the hospital in Atlanta, and they had me taped down to the board so I couldn't move my head. And I got sick on the way to the hospital. They had to pull over, tilt me on my side so it wouldn't choke on my puke. It's probably too much information, but you know, it's kind of funny now, but it wasn't funny then. But got to the hospital, they did all the tests. I pulled my muscles really bad in my neck, and it hurt. But what's more screwed up about that deal was when we first got to Atlanta, a gentleman from the Ford motor coach come over and got me and said, come to the motor coach. Ford executives wants to talk to you on the phone. And I didn't know what it was about or nothing. So I go over there, go in the bus, get on the phone with them. And they wanted to know if I wanted to go to Tucson the next weekend to run the Craftsman Truck Series race. And that was when the Craftsman Truck Series was just getting started. Well, of course, I said, well, sure, absolutely. So they was going to put me in a pretty good truck in Tucson, and that possibly could have led to things in the truck series. Well, by me getting in that wreck and hurting my neck, I had a deadline of Tuesday to call them and let them know what I was going to be able to do. I couldn't even brush my teeth. That's how bad my neck was. And there was no possible way I could go out there and try to give it my best. And that's what I needed to do, was give my best. And being behind the 8-ball with a neck that was sore, very sore, I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. So I had to pass. So that kind of was a downer, but it is what it is. So the 1994 season was really an incredible year, other than the last race. And by the way, we didn't get to do any celebrations after the race at Atlanta because I was at the hospital, and everybody else, they didn't want to celebrate because I wasn't there. So we kind of got screwed on that deal. Wasn't able to do any celebrations, but it is what it is. We won the championship. I guess that's the main thing. So, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the 1994 season, we won every single heat race that we was in, So if you comply that, I don't remember how many it would be, 25 points for each of those. That adds up fast. So, and then the polls we had, that even helped too. But it says here, you know, we ended up with 3 wins, 16 top 5 finishes, and 18 top 10 finishes. So, yes, it was just an incredible year for us. But came away with our second championship in 2 years or 3 years, and looking for more in 1995. So I think that's going to do it for this video. If you would, please subscribe, like, share, and most definitely leave a comment. I would like to hear comments. I would really appreciate if you'd subscribe. It would help grow my channel. And that's really pretty much all I got for today. Well, thanks for watching. And until next time, everyone have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.